Well, it's December 5th. I hope you guys are doing great today. And if you're not, this is a great encouraging message for you. This is not the first storm that we have read about in Scripture. A lot of good can come through storms. Sometimes it's a storm that God Himself just stirred up, and sometimes we're in a storm of our own making, and sometimes we're in a storm because of someone else's mess. So no matter how we get caught up in a storm, there's some encouraging words for us today from Paul. One specific point that just jumped out at me, and I'll get to it in just a second, but this storms we have, sometimes they start off slow and they really don't seem that bad. Then they become difficult, and we see they've got struggles and more struggles, and there are moments where we don't think we're going to make it, and there's abrupt changes, and we want to give up because the wind shifts and this happens. But regardless of how we got there, we can trust God in the storm. He's going to ride it out with us every single time. He's faithful. Even when we're not faithful, He is faithful. God's plan, or Paul's plan, was to get to Rome. He was going to get to Rome. And had he not, you will see here, he could have been set free if he hadn't appealed to Caesar. That was the end of yesterday's reading. So, one can ask, well, is this because Paul didn't keep his mouth shut? Is this why this storm came about? Or is this all a part of God's plan for him to be in the storm to get to Rome? You know what? I don't know. I can't speak to all that. I can just say he could have been set free had he not appealed to Caesar. So sometimes we could avoid a storm if we would keep our mouth shut. Sometimes we could avoid a storm if we would just keep our hands off the situation. But here we are with Paul in the storm. And those seamen, the captain and the crew, they didn't listen much to him at first, but boy, certainly they started listening to him. Isn't that amazing? I just find that so incredible. But regardless of how you get, and you might not be in a storm right now. You might have landed, and you might have gone ashore and things are okay. But regardless, this is a great message for us to hold on to, is to be encouraged that God's plan is going to prevail. We are not so strong that we can mess up and change God's perfect plan. Now, we might delay it and we might derail it, but we are not going to keep God from accomplishing what He has set out to accomplish. And we can know that. And we may have to be shipwrecked for a while, but He will accomplish His purpose in our lives, and He will get us to a place where we're going to bend to His plan. The storm continues, and it may continue on, and we might have to lose precious cargo along the way. We might lose friends. We might lose things that we value. But regardless, He is with us in the storm, and if we have Him, everything else is going to fall back in place. This was one of the points that just jumped out at me. We have to completely trust God, cut the anchors that are holding us in the storm, and allow ourselves to drift to the place of safety He has for us. You know what? Sometimes we are our own anchor in the storm. Our own thoughts, our own stubbornness and self-willed position on things. It's kind of I'm going to die on the mountain idea. We're going to stay out in that storm, in the tumultuous waves and wind, when we're instructed to cut loose and just go where God is telling you to go. Is it a relationship? Is it our finances? Is it a job? So many things we anchor ourselves down to this world and to our position that we are caught up in all of this mess when all we have to do is cut the anchor and go where God says to go. Paul's tried to tell him that. You cut the anchor, we're going to go to the shore and we'll be fine. Don't get out of this boat. You're going to surely die if you get out of this boat, he says to them. But I thought of all the things that I just hold me back from moving forward, and most of them are things that I don't need to be holding on. I have anchored myself to situations that I don't need to be anchored to. And I'm just sitting here rocking in the boat when I don't have to be. Oh my goodness, that spoke to me. And because with God, there is always a shore on the horizon. There is always a shore on the horizon. Now, I don't know how far you are from your horizon. I don't know how far you are from your shore. But I can tell you there's a shore awaiting for you. I don't know when, I don't know how, but just pull the anchor up. Cut the string on the anchor, whatever it is that's holding you in that place that you know you're supposed to be letting go of, let go of it. Trust God completely. He will take you where He wants you to be. And there's no other place you want to be except for right where He wants you to be. That's the safest place for any believer to be. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.